I'm going to do like an insight message today. Again, it's like an insight, it's like a message, it's like a teaching. This morning, I want to say the word teaching because I feel like the energies that I've received this sort of like information from today is very much around sort of again teaching from like ascended masters or teaching from guides or universal teachers or angelic energies, and I want to sort of like start talking about that a little bit this morning. So I've woken up this morning, and over the weekend I had a chat with like a good friend of mine yesterday. We were talking about, we have a catch up and we do like a spiritual session, and we were talking about life in general, talking about things, talking about spirit, and like the main thing that I've seemed to sort of like one of the teachings or the main aspect of that's come through this week is about balance. And I've never really thought about balance, is in the way that I've really sort of like I'm thinking about it this week. It's sort of like around sort of like giving, receiving, and sort of the flow of the universe. And as I was starting to think about this, I was starting to think about like balancing in my life, in my way, and in my own journey. And in a lot of ways, I've been always sort of like being very sort of like spiritually. I've always been very connected. I feel always felt like I'm very sort of like connected into the energies of and the frequency of the planet. I'm very much connected into the energy and the frequencies of my source energy and my light energy and my light bodies. But I've never really sort of like recognized my that sort of like aspect of being human, and in the sense of like be sort of like working and integrating like those energies more into my human reality and my human self. And I feel this is definitely a shift. I mean, I've been sort of listening to things about six dimensional reality and consciousness, and they talk about something about your sovereign human self, and they talk about in a sense of human beings, and the fact that we still have to like integrate the different aspects of self to really have a truly sort of like spiritual experience. And I think in a lot of ways I've tried to sort of like dissolve that human self, and to try and remain in like the spiritual energies and the spiritual realms. And in a sense, what I've done is I've opened up to these energies, but I've not really been grounded, and I've not really integrated those energies within my human self. And in that sense, I've sort of like I've not necessarily really sort of like expressed my energy and my light in that way, because I'm always sort of like consciously somewhere else. So balance is very much sort of around, to me, it's very much around sort of, so that the universe works in a way of like everything's an exchange and everything's about giving and receiving. So that's like the infinite flow of the universe. And for myself, as I've gone through this journey, I very much sort of like give, 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 give. But I don't really, I haven't always really opened up to receive in that way. And I think that's really an important part, because if you don't receive, and if you don't open yourself up to the energies of the universe and the source, and you don't sort of open your body up and your human self to it, and your energetic sort of field to that, to receive, then you're always given, and there's no balance in life. There's no balance, and the universe works in perfect union, and works in perfect unity. So in that sense, you do need balance, and balance is really really important. So I also was thinking about balance today, and the number that come into my head was like number eight, and this means many different things to me. So it's like I feel like the number eight is like an infinite number, infinite number of source of creation. And the reason why I feel that this number is infinite, and is a number of like source and creation, is because the two circles. So like you've got one circle and then you've got another circle. And again, that's symbolic of creation and the infinite flow of creation, the circle of eight. But it also connects to me, so it's very much like as above, so below. So it very connects to me again. It interlinks because it's two circles that interlink. It's sort of like it's symbolic, and it's also sort of yeah, a reflection of the infinite realms of the universe, and the spiritual realms of light and energy. But it's also infinite of the connection, that the non-separateness of also being in the human experience. So to me, the number eight is very sort of like symbolic of that. But then I looked on the internet. I thought, well, I'll look on the internet, see what the numerology says. So, um, sort of like one termed it as balance, the number of balance. Yeah, the number 8 was symbolic of balance, and it's really interesting again because this was the teaching. And then I started to look at it, and then I saw a woman run past me this morning, and I look at her back, and she's running with the number 8 on her back. So it's like, again, it's like, yeah, you know, the number 8 is symbolic, but it's also was very sort of like, you know, relevant for like the teaching or the lesson of today. So like the number 8 is very much around that. So I was thinking about balance, and I think balance is a really important one. I think we forget about that sometimes. We go through our lives, you know, we're in our own energy, we're in our own frequency, and we're giving out, but we're not necessarily always opening up to receive. And the universe works in that way, in balance. It also connects to the first the first ray of the infinite masters, or you know, the masters of light, which is or the ascended masters, where you talk about Almora, which is about the flow of the universe, and the you know, blue is the first one, which is to do with divine intelligence, divine wisdom. And to me, again, this is very much around source, but it also then started to go deeper when I was starting to connect into it. So the figure of 8 connects to that, but it also connects to, you know, because I was looking around at number 8, and it was sort of around me, and there was balance there, and there's all these other different things, and it was then telling me that, you know, this source energy is communicating with us all the time, and this is the first aspect of like the blue ray of the ascended masters, which is the divine mind, the divine intelligence. So you start to see then that everything is around you, and the source is communicating through all different sort of like, it's like different sources everywhere, and it's communicating with you, and it's giving you information, and it's very much around that. So again, it's like, it was really interesting when I woke up this morning and I was thinking about those kind of things. And over the last couple of days, I've been thinking about anchoring in energy and anchoring in light and balancing. And you know, there's so much going on. There's so many vibrations. There's so many frequencies. There's so many things that are harmonizing at the moment. We've got things around creation, the creator aspect of being. We've got things around being anchoring light in and energy in at the moment. And it's like, it's trying to really sort of integrate those within the human experience. And you know, because this is what we're here for. You know, we've incarnated for this reason as light beings, to anchor this energy in. But we've also come down here as to have a human experience as well. And the physical body is very much the aspect of that. You know, we've incarnated in this physical form, in this physical body, so we can express that light, we can express that energy. So not recognizing the human body and sort of dismissing it, you know, it doesn't allow you to have that true experience. So it's really, really important that we integrate our spiritual energies, our spiritual light within our physical beings and our physical bodies, because then it allows us then to to open up and become a channel for that light, that energy, and the physical body becomes a like a vessel, a vessel, a channel to you know, to sort of activate and become more light, hold more light frequencies within that physical body, to then you can start to then, you know, express that light, that energy, but also harmonize with the infinite part of the self, you know, the multi-dimensional self. So then you can start to, once you do, and you start to integrate it within your energy centers and your physical body, then what you can start to do then is to vibrate in a way that's very much spiritual, and you're vibrating as a spiritual being in a human experience. And when you start to do that, then you open up to the many sort of like aspects of creation and source, and your consciousness shifts. So then you can start to see, well, actually, I am the creator of my own reality. I'm the creator. You know, I have a like a creation aspect in my source, my energy, my spirit, and I can do this with my physical reality, my physical body. And then that physical body then starts to come on. So then like your human mind then comes on to line to more of a universal mind, So then your consciousness shifts again, and it's very much around that. So the physical body is very definitely an important part. It's like it's the way we experience the world, and it's the way we create reality. But it's also a way to harmonize with those aspects of source and spirit in a way that you can, this, you know these sort of like vibrations of love, peace, harmony, balance, truth, connection, all aspects of source. And when we feel those in a human form, then what we're doing really is we're gaining insight to what it's like to be, have that sort of like that source energy in us, and it allows us to express it and feel it, but it also allows us to recognize it and know that energy is within each and every one of us. So it's been sort of like a real sort of like shift in how I've moved through my own spiritual journey, because I've always definitely tried to remain in the spiritual realms and the spiritual energy and the spiritual light, and not really recognize my human form and my human body. And I think some spiritual people do that. It's like the more spiritual we get, the more we try and dissolve or like I say, dismiss the human self, because we want to get back to what it's like to be spirit and be that disembodied, energy, that we're not in like an embodied energy. We're not in like in a body. We want to go back to the realms of light and energy. But we're here for a reason, and we've used this body, and we've chosen to come here to anchor in that light, anchor in that energy. So we need to very much sort of like recognize the human aspect of self, but also see the power that it has as well, because it definitely allows us then, when we connect to our human form, to start to integrate those spiritual frequencies and energies. And then we can start to really open up our energy centers and start to really create through our human form, and that will shift and change reality. So there's a lot of things that are going on, I feel at the moment. But like I said, the lesson today was very much around balance. It's very much around balance, about giving and receiving, and the flow of the universe. And everything needs balance. So if you're giving too much, you're out of balance. You need to give and receive, and you need to receive to open. You need to, once you start to receive, you open up your energy centers, you open up your energy field. And when you do that, then you can start to then express it through you. And then what you start to do is create a channel of infinite flow, the flow of the universe. And then this is where you start to come into, like I said, the flow of energy, the flow of the universe. And then this is where you start to become more energized, more open, and you'll be able to sustain a lot longer within the human reality, where you'll feel like you're an energy, you're a light, you're a frequency, a vibration, and you'll start to see that you have this energy within you that you can use to express and create. But we have to get that balance. It's about being in unity. It's about being in union with source energy, but also knowing that you've also here, as a human, in a human form, to express that light and that energy, but also to use it for creation, use it for healing, use it for understanding, use it for wisdom, and apply all that to your life. So it's a bit of a different shift for me, but it also, the main thing for me as well is when you balance things, then you also then, you're grounded as well. You're grounded with it, because you're walking as light and energy in a physical form. So you're also grounded, but you're also connected. You're connected to the planet. You're connected to that infinite source, that multi-dimensional being of self. But you're also aware that in a human form, you're vibrating, and you're also connecting to those energies. And in that human form, you have the ability, you're a creator, you have that creation ability, you have that. It's like stepping into your power as well. It's like once you recognize that human form, and you also then connect it to that infinite aspect of self, then you can start to then really truly create through your physical form, to create physical reality. And that's where you become that creator, and that's where you manifest and create. For me, I've had times this week where I've been like in a sacred space, and when I'm in that light and that energy, I just vibrate in union. But there's nothing I necessarily need in that space. But I also know in that space, it gives, in that space there's an ability to create and manifest, because I'm in like this energy, for this vibration, this frequency, and in that, there's so much opportunity, there's so many, there's so much ability to create and shift and change whatever I want. And again, it connects into this, when I very much feel in this space again, I want to talk about this sense of transmutation and transformation again, with the one, the universal law, but two, so this connects to the ascended master of Saint Germain as well, and it very much is around that. And I feel like I've also felt this week, I've been doing a lot of energy work where I've been anchoring, and I feel like a lot of spheres of light at the moment, like these big balls of energy, that fill rooms but also around me. And I also feel like at the moment, when I'm very much connecting to the energies, like I've always felt like my minus chakras spin in my hands, but they've only like span in the center of my hands. But then now, when I'm connecting into these spheres of lights and these energies, and I'm anchoring in the energy, it's like my whole hands are light, my whole sort of being is light. So it's very much shifted. It's that I don't just feel the energy centers spinning here. I feel that my whole human body is this light body. This is light energy. So it's definitely shifting and changing for me. So try these kind of things at home, and try these kind of things, and bring balance into your life, and start to look at, how is your life flowing? How is your life flowing at the moment? Is it flowing, or do you feel like you're giving all the time but not receiving? If you're not receiving, then that might be because you're not opening up your own being to receive. And without that, the universe is out of balance. The flow of the universe is out of balance. Your flow of your energy is out of balance. There's loads of things that could be out of balance. So just look at that, and have a look at, that aspect of self, and reflect upon your own life, and see, what things maybe you need to bring in balance, because I think it's a really good message. So that's the insight for today. So check out my Facebook page for spiritual insight and awareness. Also, sort of, like, subscribe, follow. Any questions would be great, because this is how, as spiritual beings, we truly learn through each other, because we're all teachers and we're all students, and sharing experiences only help to build the energy of the planet, but also build the energy of each other, but also open us up to that infinite aspect of self, the source energy, that holds the keys to the wisdom, the insight. And by connecting with each other, that's how we truly learn, because then we become one, we become in unity, we become this oneness vibration. So really, if there's any comments, any questions, please post in on the YouTube channel, and I'll get back to you. Alright, have a great day.